session, I think we're going to kick off our first panel. So I would like to welcome John Tolton, SLE, Inderpal Singh, Mohammad Naufal, and Max Wang. Please have a seat. Okay, this is going to be an interesting first panel topic. So thanks again for our panelists to be here. Let me just give a summary of what this panel is going to be all about. So the topic is digital experience, how to improve CX and engagement. So I think one of the key key element of the keynote speaker is the engagement between the customer, the brands with the consumer. And so I just want to read through a bit of what we're trying to do today. Customer experience has become the key differentiator in the digital age. Today, consumers demand seamless, personalized, and engaging interaction across various channels. So we have a variety, esteemed panel of experts here from different backgrounds who will guide us through the latest trends, technologies, and strategies to elevate your CX game. So first, we have John Tolton, the Senior Vice President of Group Sales Strategy and Enabler at Telin. As you know, Telin is the leading telecommunication provider in Indonesia and in the region, driving innovation and digital transformation. Second, we have Max Wang. He's on my far, I guess, left. Well, not my far left, but second left. Max Wang, Head of Sales Engineering at APAC at Sinch. Sinch is the global leader in cloud communication and mobile customer engagement. Then we have Mohammad Naufal. He's the Head of Product at Paxel, in Indonesia, very much a technology-driven logistic company, revolutionizing last-mile delivery and with customer-centric solution. Next, we have Inderpal Singh, and he's a CEO of Dotgo. Dotgo is an innovator in rich communication services, RCS, enabling rich and more interactive messaging experience. And last but not least, we have SLE. He's the Regional Business Development Manager at SendQuick. SendQuick is a CPaaS provider, empowering businesses with seamless communication tools. So first off, I want to kick off with my questions to John. And maybe John, I will give you a question, but please feel free to add to who you are and what you do. If I in terms of giving a bit more color of what you do with Telin. But my first questions to John is, as the leading telecommunication provider, how is Telin leveraging CPaaS and omni-channel engagement, to enhance communication for both businesses and consumers? Could you share some specific example of successful implementation and use cases?
Yeah, thank you. Maybe just a bit more on myself. I came from a startup CPaaS operator out of Singapore, really doing a CCaaS type of platform there, and joined Telin just a year and a half ago here in Indonesia. And one of the things that Telin, whose real mandate is to be serving carriers and enterprises internationally, bringing them to Telkom Group. I think that I go back to Pak Komang's statement. Our objective is to make money, right? And a way to make money is to be able to provide excellent customer experience for our customers. And now we've developed a platform that actually is providing what I would call more bespoke, tailor-made types of customer experience solutions for the market. And it's available in Indonesia through our partners, through our telecom partners. But really, the key to that is that you're providing the customer with an ability to communicate the way in which they want to communicate, something that is intuitive to them. And I think in the data that was just shared earlier, it's very clear that Indonesia in particular, but a few other countries, WhatsApp has become really a primary means of communicating, and something that the customer has become a lot more accustomed to, or a lot more comfortable with. And it's more ubiquitous. It's something that they're using on a day-to-day basis. So with that in mind, along with our traditional voice and messaging and some other lines of communication, we've really made a partnership there with Meta, whereby we're offering these types of WABA services to our customers through our partners around the world. And we have engagements as far away as Uzbekistan and in Singapore, of course, and then in Indonesia, of course, as well, where we're embracing that because it is what the consumer wants. It's what the consumer is familiar with. We have not left behind the traditional voice. We feel very strongly that customers do want to speak to their brands, to their airlines, to their banks, and we enable that as well through our voice networks. So it's something that I guess overall the concept is that you have to give the customer what they want. You have to make it easy. You have to make it something that is that is a way in which you and we have to be able to support that and be able to support the challenges that the customer has when they're trying to make a transaction, or when they're trying to learn about something, or they're trying to implement a new tool, or trying to build a chair in their house. We have to be able to support that with whatever means the customer wants to utilize.
Thank you, John. So I'm going to move to Max, and just building on the same theme, Max. I mean, I know Sinch is one of the global leader in cloud communication. I guess the question is that with a lot of CPaaS solutions out there, how does Sinch differentiate yourself in this crowded CPaaS market? And what would Sinch bring unique value to the business seeking to enhance from customer engagement?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good question, and we have been asking ourselves the same question for, I don't know, the last 10 years. I got a lot of competitors here. So how we try to differentiate ourselves is that a lot of people see us as a global company, but we are really local than global, and that's the reason why we have about 44 offices around the world, and we make sure we have local people on the ground, and salespeople, marketing people, product, sales engineers like myself. Main reason is because we believe that the extra value we can bring to the customer is really two things. Number one is local market insights. Like WhatsApp, huge here, as you mentioned, right? But we also know that WhatsApp is almost never used in Australia. So when we engage with our customers, these are the insights that we can provide to them. And then I think in the last 2 to 3 years, there's a massive team on security and fraud, right? So that's the other part that we are adding value by working really closely with all the regulators to figure out how to prevent fraud. And then we bring this to our customer to teach them what's the best way to stop fraud, which is why one of the big things we're pushing pretty hard is RCS, because of the verified sender, because of how it's super controlled before you can even send an RCS message, right? Yeah, so that's where we are adding value to this ecosystem.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's an excellent, because I think the same thing, I think what you say is understanding your customer. Each region, each local market is different. Some have preference over a WhatsApp channel, some may not, like Australia. So you really have to tailor-made, provide really personalized service for each of the market that you serve. So
Yep.
I want to move to Mohammad Naufal at Paxel. I want to talk about kind of still on the same theme, but I want to kind of switch gear a bit in the logistic and last mile delivery, because that's what you guys do very well.
Right.
It's very crucial for customer satisfaction, especially for e-commerce. So I think we would love to know how Paxel has, as an organization, has integrated CPaaS and business messaging into your operation to streamline communication, improve tracking, and enhance the overall customer experience.
Right. Just a little bit about Paxel, actually. So we've been around in the business for 7 years now. And throughout the days, one thing that we realize is that in logistics, a lot of things are uncertain. That's for sure. Because we face with the condition of the street condition, especially in Jakarta. I bet several of you guys are stuck in traffic before you guys came here, right? That's the everyday problem that we face in logistics. But one thing that we know for sure is that the customer itself wants to get the certain information that we could get from the logistic provider. That's I think the biggest challenge that we have at the moment. Back in the days, because we believe that WhatsApp is still the number one, back then, the number one communication channel that our customer use. So at that time, we use completely through WhatsApp. But the downside is that from that is a lot of things are not integrated seamlessly at the backend side. So a lot of information that we give to the customers is not the accurate one. That's, I think, the problem that we faced a couple years ago. But now, I think thanks to help from the Telin as well, we've been introduced to one of the companies that provide the chatbot. So we integrated all of the communication to our apps, because we believe that by the time you create a shipment, place an order through our application, you will still have the attention span that you require to open our apps. So which is why we embed everything to the apps itself. But there's also a situation where basically we have to communicate outside our apps. So that's where the communication comes in handy. But so the integration part, right now we manage all of our integration on our own. So all of the internal information that can be sent through the backend, through the messaging platform itself, whether it's the chatbot or whether it's WhatsApp, it can be handled automatically. So at the end of the day, it will create a certain level of customer expectation that are, previously we cannot handle, but now we can meet the customer expectation that we create in the first place.
Thank you, Pak Naufal. I want to switch also gear a bit, kind of like put a notch on RCS. I know we have Inderpal Singh here, CEO of Dotgo. I know you guys are in the forefront of RCS technology. You flew in from New Jersey, you're based in New Jersey, so you flew here for this event or other things, but thanks for coming. But I mean, I think maybe, I know we probably, most of us are technologists, so we know RCS, but maybe what for the rest of the audience, could you explain in simpler terms, what is RCS and how does it differ from traditional messaging? What are the key benefits? I know we are in the cups of implementing RCS in many, and I know with the recent announcement of Apple supporting RCS, so with Google and iOS, Android and iOS, so I think we see that most devices will be supported. Could you share us, enlighten us on RCS and where do you think the businesses can benefit?
Sure. Let me just start a bit about myself. My name is Inderpal Mumick. I'm the CEO.
Could you close up? Yeah.
I'm the CEO of Dotgo. I've been in the technology and telecom space for over 30 years. I've worked for AT&T, Bell Labs. I did several projects there, and then have been in startups for the last 25 years as a serial entrepreneur. I started Dotgo along with a few other colleagues of mine about 4 years ago with the goal of enabling the ecosystem to adopt RCS messaging and to make it easy for the ecosystem to adopt RCS messaging. And the ecosystem for RCS messaging, of course, includes the carriers. It includes other CPaaS players, includes software developers or ISVs, includes aggregators. So we started building a bunch of tools, services, software, managed services to really enable all of these players to adopt RCS. Frankly, the going was very slow in the initial days, but over the last maybe year and a half or so, starting in late 2022, we are seeing a huge adoption and growth of RCS to the point we are doubling traffic on our platforms almost every quarter for the last 6 to 7 quarters. So what is this RCS that is growing? And that's Matt's question. So RCS stands for Rich Communication Services. It's the name of a protocol developed by GSMA, which is the organization of all of the mobile operators around the next generation of messaging, the next generation of SMS. How is SMS going to be replaced? How is SMS going to compete with messaging over data in the new world? It's been very slow growing. The effort started more than a decade ago, but it's picked up now, where it's on the cusp of huge adoption around the world. We have about 1.5 billion users of RCS today on Android, and another billion plus expected to join within the next year, coming from Apple's, after Apple's iMessage has started adopting RCS. So RCS is rich messaging, so it includes pictures, videos. It really upgrades your SMS to the modern messaging world that we're all familiar with WhatsApp or Viber. You can send pictures, you can send videos, you can see when somebody else is typing with typing indicators. You can play videos from YouTube inside your messages app, and it all works in the built-in messaging app on your phone. If you're on Android, you have an SMS app which is called Messages. It works within the Messages app. If you're on iPhone, you have a Messages app called iMessage. So it will work with the new iOS 18 inside the iMessages app. It works instantaneously. It works across the country, across operators within your country. It works across countries. And it is free other than the data charges that you incur with the service. So it does not work over the old protocols of SMS. It works over data and over data protocols. It comes along with the P2P service. It comes with business messaging. So business messaging also is completely changed. RCS includes a notion of verification. So any brand to come on gets a trust mark, so it's much more secure. It's branded. You see the brand, you see the logo of the business sending you messages. Businesses are able to send rich messages with pictures and videos, even with carousels. It's two-way, so the consumer can respond to a business. So if they get a message from a sender ID of Gojek, they can actually respond to it. It's not just one way. And it thus changes everything. It changes one-way communication of SMS to conversations. And it makes it at par with WhatsApp and goes beyond WhatsApp in many dimensions to offer richer two-way conversational engagement between businesses and brands that can include AI, that can include integrations with the backend, and that can, in many ways and many times, avoid the need to use a mobile app from a business by just using a conversation over RCS to get your job done, whether it is making a purchase, getting support, getting customer assistance, all over RCS. Let me pause here.
Thank you, Inderpal. Thank you very much. So moving on, beyond RCS, we talk about WhatsApp. We talk about CPaaS. We talk about logistics. I want to move also moved to SLE from SendQuick. And I think SendQuick, specialized in CPaaS solution. But I wanted you to elaborate on what are the specific challenges business face in adopting just messaging in general. I know we have OTT, we're going to have RCS, we're going to have other rich communication, we're going to have WhatsApp. So there is a multitude of omni-channel services, and then business have to make a decision. How do you facilitate or help businesses or enterprise or companies adopting the right channel for the right audience, and how do you help them overcome some of these hurdles? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Also, my name is Lee. I'm from SendQuick, more than 10 years for business development. So I mean, backtrack a bit on the challenges for our clients is that the main memorable stage was during the COVID lockdown. Normally, you deliver messages via omni-channels, but when data centers, governments, or even FSIs, they want to embark on, they need to change their work process flow. They need to adapt more on the mobile messaging portion. So this is where the challenge came in. So besides of determining what type of channels, which is based on different industries, to go to their customers, their back-end systems are not ready, as mentioned by one of the channels. So we need, be it a legacy systems, be it a single file applications or databases, they are not connected at all. So in order to present a true messaging to their clients, that's a problem there. So the other portion is that expertise, the internal team, in order to build all of this interface to connect together and deliver the correct message to their clients. So this is another problem that they have. The third portion is that especially for what you call organizations which is regionally based. So they need expertise on which country to use. So for example, Indonesia, mainly on WhatsApp. But for Thai, it's Line. So Zalo in Vietnam. So these are the, besides of embarking this, there will be what you call regulations or ways to apply different channels based on different countries. So like Singapore, you need to register for SMSs. WhatsApp is okay, but it's not used widely for other countries. So like WeChat in certain countries, you need to apply to a local partner. So these are the things that they need to understand. And on top of that, someone brought up security issue also. So one of our clients during that time, right, they got hit by hacking. So almost $20,000 US worth of SMS was sent out within 3 days. So these are some of the concerns that we need to address. So basically, we started off as what you call, oh, we provide you an API, you just send out. But in order to be relevant to our clients, right, we need to embark on a different journey, solution-based. So basically, we develop modules such as user interfaces, chatbot, multi-factor authentication modules, AIs for reporting or for security concerns. Yeah, so we actually adopt these items to actually cater for them. Back to the questions of using which channel. Yeah, it depends on different countries. Malaysia, most of our clients are still adopting SMSs and WhatsApp. So for our Thai side, mainly SMSs and Line. So whether to do a two-way thingy and everything, it depends on their different processes. Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, SL. I know we have 6 minutes, and I wanted to see if we can get some audience Q&A. Anybody? So I'm opening up to the floor. If anybody has any questions to our panel. Otherwise, I have questions to the panel. Okay, fair enough. So I think, measurement is key. I know if a company wants to invest investing on, CX, how do you measure? I think the question, what are the most impactful metrics for measuring CX success? And how can business use these insights to drive continuous improvement and ROI. So I kind of open it to any panel to answer. So if you have any thoughts around, if a business wants to implement a specific CPaaS and measure and invest, and how do you measure that? What are the metrics that to measure the success of a customer engagement? Yeah.
I can take that.
Go ahead.
So whether a business does marketing, e-commerce, or support, meshing analytics is absolutely key to understand how the communication, how the engagement is actually performing. And many of the modern messaging channels, whether it is RCS or WhatsApp, now go well beyond a simple delivery receipts that SMS provides. So the metrics that are very key turn out to be read receipts. How many people are actually reading the message? Delivery timelines. How quickly are the messages being delivered? Read timelines. How many people read within 15 minutes, within half an hour, within an hour? Engagements. How many people respond to the message? What are the click-through rates? What are the response rates that are happening? And using these metrics, you can build on top of it the metrics that determine the success of a business. So if you are using it for logistics, well, how many people actually make changes through these conversational methods? How many people need human support versus being managed over automated conversational support? And all those metrics turn out to be key drivers of digitization, of measuring digital efficiency and and the cost savings that generate. In fact, one of the largest users of conversational messaging has been marketing. And in marketing, these use cases determine the ROI. And ROI then determines more investment into use of conversational rich way messaging for more and more marketing use cases.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else wants to add to that ROI measurement? Okay, cool. I think we have a few more minutes, but I want to maybe go back to John on Telin. I know you are, Telin operates in a diverse region with variety of customer preferences. Obviously, you are very strong in Indonesia, but you're also very strong regionally as well. And maybe this actually question could apply to all of you as well, because how do you approach tailoring your customer engagement strategies to a different market and different demographics while maintaining a consistent brand? So anyway, John, could you maybe help us understand how you approach your brand and address all the different flavors and variety in different markets in this region? Yeah.
Yeah, well, as a brand yourself, you stand for your principles and the values that you're bringing to the market. And whatever market you're going to, they need to remain constant. It's just a matter of the message in each market. It may be approached in a different way. The way in which we address the Indonesian market is very different than the way in which we would even go to Singapore. The perception of a brand in one market will be different than another. The way in which we approach the Korean market versus the Chinese market is also very different. So it's being aware, it's having awareness of the market that you're in, understanding even what their likes and needs are for their market, and being able to adapt to that, but remain consistent with the brand itself and with the values of your organization.
Okay. Any other panel has any thoughts on how do you provide a consistent brand across the region? I guess the question sometimes I have is that in terms of just in we have regulation which is different in different market, and preferences, and so I think those are the challenges that some of you guys, especially Telin and others, have to adapt. I mean that's very key. So I think we are okay. Go ahead. We have 1 minute left. Yep.
Okay. So we face this challenge about how to expand into a new market while keeping your knowledge base and your brand identity very much at the forefront. And the approach we have taken is to get a beachhead into a new market using people coming from existing market sets. But once you get a beachhead, to scale local, scale with local knowledge, scale with local people, and grow the business locally after you get the beachhead.
Okay, so I think we are at the end of the panel. I just want to thank you, the panel, for such a engaging and insightful conversation. I do encourage, everyone to approach each of the panel directly. If you have specific questions, they are here, throughout the day. And thank you again, panel. And I think we are on to the next one. Yep.